What's going on there, guys? We back with another one, and today, man, we're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe and Craig Hodges. Shannon was talking to Skip Bayless about some of the things surrounding Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets, and when he was talking about what Kyrie has said, the movie that he retweeted, he said, Kyrie, you might not know who Craig Hodges is, but you're going to end up like him. Pretty much painting Craig Hodges as a bad guy. For those that don't know what Craig Hodges did, he handed the president a letter when the Bulls was visiting the White House. And in that letter, it explained to George W. Bush. It kind of went in depth about some of the problems pertaining to racism in America, right? The owner, Jerry Krause, said, pretty much said they were looking for younger players and that Craig Hodges' shooting skills had diminished. But Craig Hodges insisted that it was instead activism and political things that got him out of the NBA. Check out what Shannon had to say first, and then I'm going to show you what Craig said to respond to that.
He's a conspiracy theorist. I just like what he said 10 years ago. So you already said what the guy is. And now he's a proven liar. But it's that one thing that you like, it's that morsel over there. Now I get what he said right here. It's not true. Okay. Is he a member in these secret societies? Is Alex Jones a member of these secret societies that he can attest to? Is Kyrie Irving a member of these secret societies that he says exist? Just throwing stuff out there, Skip. It's just sad that this is what he's become. But Kyrie, I don't even know if you know who Craig Hodges is, but you better be careful. If you don't know who he is, you might need to reach out to him and have a conversation. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, because...
Remember what happened to Craig Hodges? The three-point contest guy?
Yes, I do.
And he had,
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you.
So Craig Hodges heard that, said he got it from his son. He didn't even know that was on TV, so he was blindsided by Shannon's comments, and this is what he had to say in response.
And it's interesting. It was interesting, Brother Craig. He mentioned your name. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Your name, and he said...
This is the part for me. When he did that, he left it as hanging fire. He didn't go into it. He said, hey, you know what happened to Craig Hodges? And his boy's like, what? You know Craig Hodges. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, we know media. Y'all have a pre-production meeting. So you're going back and forth. Well, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this. And I'm saying, you said my name 2 or 3 times. None of that was discussed pre-production. And then the way you left it, Stephen A. I need to speak to, Shannon I need to speak to. Because if you're gonna say, yeah, man, you know what happened to Craig Hodges, go into it, brother. Tell me what happened.
Right. The same way you want Kyrie to have context, they should provide context.
And they never do. They never do. Don't, because once again, you got that bully pulpit. Once you say it, it's out there. And then my son sending me, I didn't even know it was on. My son sent it to me, said, Dad, check this out. And I'm like, wow, man.
Craig Hodges was determined to make an impression.
We got on the national stage, people's first question, why are you wearing this dashiki? I wanted it to be on the record that I came in a certain manner that was respectful, but also mindful of where I came from and where I want my people to be. It's from the Chicago Bulls, number 12, 10 of whom are of the descendants of African slaves. I have taken on the responsibility to speak on behalf of those who are not able to be heard from where they are. We have a sector of our population that is being described as an endangered species, i.e. the young black man. The question must be asked, why is the condition of the inner cities around the country in a state of emergency because of wanton violence, lack of jobs, or drugs? It is very important that the citizens of this great nation make a determination of what side of history we will be on in this most critical hour.
Yeah, man, so I think that's fair. That's only fair whenever you're playing with somebody's name like that, when you make an open-ended statement, because let's face it, a lot of people that's watching Undisputed, watching First Take every day, they don't know who Craig Hodges is. They weren't even alive whenever that was happening. So when certain people are watching these programs and you say something like that, they might go look it up and they might find some false information. So you have to provide context on what you're trying to say, because the way Shannon said it and the way he presented it was like, see what happened to him? He crossed the line. You know, he did something wrong. But if you actually look at it, he gave the president a letter detailing racism in America and just wanted him to take a look at what they could do to help bridge the gap where there was a disconnect. Shannon, he should look at that, and then I think he should talk to Craig Hodges based on that, because I think you owe him an apology or an explanation or try to clarify your remarks, you know, not because you're scared of him or he's making you do it, but just out of respect for another man. You see what I'm saying? Because you didn't paint him as a hero. You didn't paint him as someone who was brave at the time. What he did was just something you need to do. I mean, you could go on and look at other things he did. Like he wanted Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson to protest the NBA Finals game. But, you know, you can feel however you want about that. I mean, I'm not about to get into all that, but that's an additional thing he wanted done at the time to show him how serious they were about this thing. And he wore a dashiki to the White House and handed him that letter. So that's another thing. Like he was dressed for the occasion, and he didn't disrespect or anything. But it was funny how the Bulls tried to paint a narrative like his skills were diminishing, but it was because of his freedom of speech that they didn't allow him to continue to play. And what he did, it was simply a letter, and it was simply just like, what are we going to do about this? You know, when he gave George Bush that letter, what can we do? Anything? Can I use my platform to help people from my community that's affected? You know, so for Shannon Sharpe to put it out there like, you see what happened to him, you better stop. You better not go over there and use your voice. That's crazy. And then he's like, reach out and have a conversation with Craig Hodges. But if he reached out and had a conversation with Craig Hodges would probably praise him for what he's doing. He probably wouldn't scold him as Shannon insinuated, like, don't be like me, man. Don't lose your money behind running your mouth. That's what Shannon was insinuating that he was going to say. But I don't feel like that. I feel like he's going to tell Kyrie, you know, good job, young man, way to stand up for what you believe in. And the fact that it affects you monetarily, Shannon, I think he needs to look sometimes. Like, you don't just jump out the window for anything, right? Especially if you don't have enough information on it or you don't know what you're talking about, because that'll have you looking crazy. But if you have information on something and it's really bothering you at your core, I always say, you know, your thoughts, what you can say, that stuff shouldn't be for sale, because you internally, you won't be happy if you got to keep your mouth shut. If something's really bothering you, an issue is really something you are passionate about, and you just have to always hold it in, I think that's gonna cause a lot more stress, you know, than it's gonna be helpful for you. So that's what I would say to Shannon, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.